So we were at Iola walking around today.
Yeah.
And guess who we ran into? Just two of my heroes on YouTube. This is Aaron and Emily from Flying Sparks Garage. If you don't know who they are, you should know who they are. So to all of you out there who are going to watch this, all 87 of you, that's right. These folks are exactly as cool as you'd think they would be in person. They're very humble, they're incredible people to hang out with, and it's unreal to be able to hang out with them today. So thanks a lot, you guys.
Absolutely. Awesome to see y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody, welcome to a little snippet. If you look in the back here, car trailer's hooked up to the tow machine, 5.7 Hemi Durango. You're probably wondering why. So if you look over here, here's the Hornet. It's running and driving, everything's fine, except for everything isn't fine. Steve drove it to this spot right here and tried to get it started on its way out, and the thing wouldn't start again. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the starter solenoid, maybe it's the starter itself. Not exactly sure, but we are going to load this guy up on the car trailer and bring it back to Steve's to begin troubleshooting. Yeah, it is. Nice.
Survived.
Sorry about that. Ain't that a biatch? You get all the way here, you hook up the car trailer, and where's the remote? Yep, the remote's back at home. I do take this car trailer or this winch off of this trailer occasionally. That's why it's got this janky mount for a receiver. So we're gonna run to the store and grab another winch controller and get this thing hooked up. Buying another winch controller because yours truly set it on the trailer and then drove off. So that thing is, I don't know, on the side of the road or in a ditch somewhere, probably blew off the trailer. Whoops. Luckily, the local Harbor Freight does have a wireless version of the same controller that I had, which is an upgrade. Maybe I can just leave it on the winch then, so I don't have to unplug it all the time. Anyway, we're gonna try this again. I now have a new wireless controller for this winch because the wired controller is gone. If you don't remember what happened, rewind. I explained what happened when we were on the way to Harbor Freight to buy a new controller. ADHD is a real thing, and I struggle with it, so enjoy. Ooh, new wireless remote. Hey, cool. You ready? There.
That thing doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
What? Those car attached?
Yeah. If your car trailer doesn't have a winch, I consider getting one. It saves you so much work. I'm sure all you guys know this already. Man, is that awesome. You guys want to meet somebody who's done more with her life than you ever will? This is my friend Lori.
Hi.
On Instagram, what's your handle?
L.A. Winkleman.
L.A. Winkleman, that's right. Lori has run like, I don't know, 1 million marathons and like 100 half marathons and I don't know. She does all that stuff like every single day and then what, eats pizza every night?
Every night.
Oh,
Pizza
man.
every day.
Oh, I'm so proud of that. Lori was here at the gym, which is actually where this car was stranded. Steve was working out before the car died. So Lori was gracious enough to lend us her presence to make sure we didn't break anything.
I had to supervise this gig.
Yeah, somebody has to, right?
Good.
Yeah. We're going to run this back over to Steve's place, which is like a mile from here, and at least get it dropped off. That way we can start troubleshooting what's wrong with the starter. I think it's either the starter or the starter solenoid. One of the two is dead. We did just hear it click over from the key, so I think the circuitry's okay, but we're gonna figure out what's up with that here in a sec. But it seems like we have either starter or solenoid, as I said in the previous clip. So more to come on that car. Looks like other than that, the engine's still running good and it's broken in. So once we get the starter fixed, maybe you guys will get some more content of that thing driving, doing burnouts, all sorts of cool stuff. second, technically, drive on this new cam. The car is currently running fine, it seems. So follow along. We'll shoot some other stuff when we get there. Here we are, made it to Iola, made it to our spot. We're just going to get prepped, and as most of you know, I'm super pale, so gonna lube up with sunscreen, load up the backpack with some water bottles, and hit the show.
It could be something else completely.
I didn't
Yeah.
get that part.
Here, we gotta show you that you're here because you're part of the channel, right? But no, I get it. I don't know what it is. But yes, everybody can relax. I'm cutting all the audio out of this. Oh my God, look at this thing. What the heck?
I've never heard.
look at this thing.
This is what we had, the country squire. This is what we brought from California, but it was white.
Oh man, man, oh man, you've got to be kidding me. Look at this.
Because
Look at the seats that
I
face
know.
this. Oh.
yeah, yeah, because when we were
We met a few other really awesome people at the show. As you can see, Derek from Bicycle Garage was doing a build live, and I was able to get a signature from him. We also met Aaron and Emily Reeves from Flying Sparks. You saw those in the beginning of the video. But an extra special guest that I ran into unintentionally was Mortske from Mortske Repair on YouTube. He gave me a sticker. He was a really cool guy to talk to. So we had a really good time. Decided to stop by Steve's. It's Friday afternoon here. I heard the Hornet is back up and running. I wanted to give you guys a quick update as to what the problem was, why it wouldn't start. But there's another interesting development with the Oldsmobile. So this thing, because of my genius radiator hold downs here, these, I don't know if you guys will remember, these used to have just be bare steel, and there is a part radiator now where this steel hold down bracket actually goes through the radiator. So this thing does leak just a little bit when it gets hot. I did try to gob some of that low temperature aluminum welding rod in there. If that doesn't fix it, then either I'll take this out and have my friend weld it shut, and if that doesn't work, then it's time for a new radiator and maybe a new fan setup anyway. So otherwise, let's see, we're going to take a look at the Hornet and I'll show you guys what the problem was. If you look over here, this is the Hornet, right? And we knew that there was one of two things, maybe three things wrong. So under the hood, there she is. Brand new starter solenoid. So this thing now fires right up, and I've checked with Heather and Steve. They said it's okay, I can start this thing. So pump it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It does run again. Here's an update. We still don't know what's up with the fuel system. We suspect that it's probably vapor lock. This whole setup here we installed really quickly just to verify that the carb had the right fuel pressure. So that will probably have to be moved because that entire fuel line gets very, very, very hot. Steve does have a lower temperature thermostat for this car. I think it's a 195 right now. We're going to lower it to like a 165, so that should help things as well. But what we found with a little bit of troubleshooting is this thing is running on 7, and we believe using a temp gun on the header tube, this is number 2, cylinder number 2 is not firing. It's at 200 degrees while every other header tube is between 450 and 500. So when we pull the plug wire off, nothing changes. We hooked the timing light, we put the inductive pickup of a timing light on that spark plug wire, and we are getting a spark signal. Now I don't know how good it is, but I think what we're going to do now is pull that plug and just check to see if, you know, the gap is set right, see if it's dirty, see if the porcelain's cracked or anything else like that. The next step would be probably a compression test to verify if that cylinder's any good. We did not do anything to the cylinder heads on this engine other than lap the valves. And the valves themselves did not look that good. We just lapped them and sent it. So yeah, we're gonna probably pull that plug out, take a look at it, and see what else we can find. Okay, so viewers, man, this camera is small, but it is going to be impossible to see. But if we can get you close enough, maybe you can see that from here. I can. That porcelain on that spark plug is cracked all the way down. So it's not going to fire, or maybe it will, maybe it won't. So we need a new plug. And that might be why we're running on 7. So we're going to try to put a new plug in there. And then we still have to address the fuel issue. But hot plug, man, you'd think I'd learn. This is what came out. So that is broken porcelain. And luckily the porcelain didn't separate until we got the plug out. So we have a spare plug. I'm sorry. We have a newly rebuilt plug. And by that I mean it took a quick bath, brake cleaner, and a wire brush. We're gonna slam this one in and see if we can't get this thing to run on all 8. So it does have a slightly shorter porcelain. I wonder if that'll make it any easier to put in there. But we're gonna slam this plug in there and see if we can't get her going. Here's our first start. It might be flooded. Did that wire come off of here?
Yep.
That is the most dependable connection I've ever seen. Thanks a lot, Ford or AMC, whoever's fault that is. There we go. That's a lot smoother already. I can hear it. Let's check with the temp gun. Here. So we're seeing 176 right now. I guess shut it off. Interesting. Well, I guess the next thing is compression test when we get time, but it'll run good enough to get to Cars and Coffee tomorrow, I guess.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is at this point. We knew that this engine wasn't the best when we put it together. It does run and leaks a little, but I wonder if maybe the valves or something on that cylinder are junk. But we can do a compression test to verify that. Okay, it's a few days later. Steve has compression tested 6 out of the 8 cylinders, and we have that written down up here. And sorry about the shadow here. So number 2 is actually 140 psi. So he did everything on the passenger side bank, and he's just got 5 and 7 left. So I'm going to hook up the compression tester to cylinder number 5 and 7 and see what we get for readings. All right, so pull the air cleaner off. And then we're actually make sure the choke is all the way open. And then we are going to move the throttle to wide open. So I wonder if the easiest way here is just going to be to zip tie that sucker. All right. So throttle zip tied wide open. Choke is all the way open. Coil wire is disconnected. Other than these spark plug wires that are hanging precariously close to this belt, I think we're ready to go. I just need to thread the compression tester in number 5. Compression tester I'm using is the cheapy Harbor Freight guy, because who cares? Gauge just pops off, quick connect, any other air fitting. That way you can thread this in. And I'm thinking now, the reason why number 5 and 7 aren't done is because they're very hard to get to. All right, on to number 5. I'll try to put this somewhere where you guys can see it. Might have to move you, get you a little closer here. You son of a gun. There. All right, here we go. Give that a try. All right. I don't know if you can see that. Just shy of 150. Looks like probably 145-ish, maybe 150. Looks pretty good to me. Make sure to mark that over here. So 145, and we're gonna say ish on that. All right, I'll get hooked up on cylinder 7 and repeat the process. All right, what does she read? What is that? Probably 140. So number 7, 140. So as you can see, sorry about the shadows here, cylinder 8 125, cylinder 6 135, cylinder 4 140, cylinder 2, the one with the miss, 140 psi, cylinder 1 125, 3 135, 5 145-ish, and 7 at 140. So all of these cylinders, except for maybe cylinder 1 and cylinder 8, are within the 10 to 15% threshold. So basically, what I'm saying is, we're engine masters. We know everything about building engines, and that's why this turned out perfect. Yeah, exactly. So now that we know that the engine is compression testing okay, the next thing we're going to do, I think, is look into a unique issue that Steve found on a forum post that might be part of our problem, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So on AMC's, at least on this one here, if you look kind of behind the fuel filter or fuel pressure regulator, here's the brake booster vacuum line, and it runs over to a fitting that goes right into the intake manifold. But that fitting goes right into the number 2 runner. Steve found a post on a forum that if you have a bad and or leaking brake booster, it can cause an intermittent misfire on cylinder 2, because that's where the vacuum port is. So if you imagine if that brake booster is leaking air and it's pulling it in right into cylinder 2, cylinder 2 could have way too much air, not enough fuel, and it could cause it to misfire occasionally. Now, I'm not an AMC expert. I don't know that for sure, but at least for this episode, I think we're going to leave it right here, and we're going to dive into more troubleshooting and probably some fuel system fixes on this thing in the next episode. Don't act like you didn't see that tin foil on the fuel line. Yeah, it's there. That fuel line gets really hot, and that was our temporary fix. And guess what? It didn't work. But it's still there. So, yeah, we know it's there. I know we owe you guys a burnout, and it is coming. Trust me, this thing is going to lay patch for as long as Steve will put his foot to the floor. I promise. So, for those of you that are subscribed, that's incredible. When I started making this video, we were at 86. We are now at 106 subscribers. There will be a special video for the 100 subscriber milestone coming, so stay tuned for that. All of you that are subscribed, thank you so much. This is a ton of fun, and I look forward to keeping the content coming. I can't wait to show you guys all the cool stuff that we have planned coming forward. I know a lot of you are waiting for that dot Ficado. I'm working on that thing this weekend. There's plenty more stuff coming on that. So again, thank you to everybody. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one.